Cotton balls are just about the best tinder, so let's see how fast we can make it burn and how slow we can make it burn using Vaseline and tinfoil to create this little candle bucket. First, let's get a baseline. I take a single normal cotton ball, rip it in half, and try to light it up with a ferrocerium rod. I'm using a simple Coleman $5 rod off the shelf, nothing special. Even so, it lights up easily with a single strike. That's because cotton is a natural fiber and it is already very fibrous and very dry when it comes out of the package. Now, if I fully aerate the cotton ball as I just did by pulling it apart, I get more oxygen flow and it burns that fuel a lot faster. It's uncontrolled, but it gets a hot flame for 7 seconds. Next, we have a unaltered cotton ball right out of the package. Did not rip it in half or tear it apart in any way, and it still lights up with a single good strike. This is an excellent way to practice your ferro rod technique. Even so, this burned for about a minute, which is plenty of time to get a fire going if you have the proper fire prep. If your fire prep is too wet or you need some time to dry it out or light it on fire because you didn't break it down enough, you can add some Vaseline to your tinder to make it last significantly longer. This is a messy process, so I try to do this at home, and I wrap each one of these individually up in a piece of tin foil to keep it from getting Vaseline throughout my entire rug. I still take these little fire nuggets and throw them in a tinfoil bag. It's an easy way to keep track of them all and also prevent that Vaseline from leaking out on a hot day. However, if you wrap it like you see I'm doing here, by folding the ends and alternating between the sides and the front, you shouldn't have any leaks at all. I wrap these up real nice and tight and then flatten them out. They weigh next to nothing and they cost next to nothing. Cotton balls are literally a dime a dozen. Vaseline comes in these giant jars for a couple dollars, and tinfoil, you're talking about pennies on the fire. This time lapse is showing a cotton ball with Vaseline and no tinfoil, and you can see that it's a pretty nice fire starter. It's very uncontrolled. You have a flickering flame and it's hot, but it only burns for about 5 to 6 minutes. This should be, like I said earlier, plenty of time to get your fire started, but in wet conditions or if you're still working on prep, it may not be enough. Here in the survival community, we like to err on the side of caution. So if I don't have to use the full capability of my tinder, I don't lose out. But if I do need to use the full capability of my tinder to start a fire, then I'm gonna be really thankful I took the time to make this the best it can be. As you can see, it was a 6-minute burn on the straight cotton ball Vaseline with no tinfoil. Now with the big dog here, I am cutting open the top of it with my knife, just through a couple layers of that tinfoil, and I peel these triangles back. The trick is to keep these triangles pointed near vertical. I like to lean them back a little bit, and this will help control the airflow into the fire. I'm also pulling out a wick on the top because you still need to light this with a spark, and it is difficult to light if you have it smashed down into the Vaseline. This one might throw you off because I sped up the footage about 10,000% so that we can get through it faster, because it took 15 minutes for this to burn down completely and for the flame to go out. Here I'm just playing around with the charred cotton, plucking it out of there and seeing if it'll relight. Now, if you haven't been able to get a fire going in the first 15 minutes of this tinder working, I don't think the extra 10-15 seconds that you gain from this is going to help. You might want to move on to another tinder source or change your fire prep. I was able to get some close-up shots here of the cotton ball and Vaseline without tinfoil, and you can see there is a liquid leaking out the bottom left side of the flame. That is that excess Vaseline that is not being used in the tinder itself. You can also see here that this is a very controlled flame, which means that we're getting a more efficient burn of our fuel. If you enjoyed today's tips, tricks, and techniques, make sure to hit like and subscribe, comment below on what you want to see next.